I started out in the cotton industry about 25 years ago doing neutron probe research, looked at using satellite imagery and airborne imagery to try and get the big picture of the whole field. Then after that I was heavily involved in the UNE cotton course, facilitating and teaching agriculture, which was probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. Then there was some issues to do with natural resource management, so I undertook some research on riparian land. It was a difficult issue. I mean, this is a riparian area and it's really important in terms of maintaining water quality. I was fortunate enough to come up through the ranks with the Cotton CRC and become its Chief Executive Officer in 2006 for 5 years, pulling together the $140 million proposal with a team of great people, which became the Cotton Catchment Community CRC, where we changed our focus to include catchments and communities. The CRC provided a great framework for other researchers to, first of all, collaborate, and second of all, for younger people to be mentored by other scientists from other institutions. I've always been interested in sustainability of the cotton industry and how one can communicate that. So I could see all this information, but it wasn't all pulled together into one story. So in 2003, I presented a paper at the World Cotton Conference on sustainability indicators. So it's been a reasonably long journey to a reality where in 2014 the Australian cotton industry is probably the first agricultural industry to report against this global framework. Importantly, it covers economic and environmental and social indicators. It's rich with data.
The area of research and extension I've been involved with over the last 7 or 8 years in particular has been farming systems work. So initially in the Burdekin region of North Queensland, looking at developing production techniques for cotton in a tropical environment during the wet season and the associated farming system that would go with that. So more recently, working in the Central Highlands with the growers there, doing research targeting, I guess, some of the aspects of their climate and looking if we can make the yields in that part of the world much more reliable. And that has entailed planting the crop much earlier than you normally would, so planting the crop in August. And what that's enabled us to do is to finish the crop before some of those monsoonal influences can take a hold during January and February. Very much a focus of the work that I've been doing in Emerald and also earlier in the Burdekin was about bringing growers with you on a journey. I'm here on the Darling Downs looking at a recently sown cotton crop that's got establishment issues. Just getting people to think about what it is that a cotton plant does, how can we work with that plant.
Spare a thought for the leads.
Teaching them about what it is that you're looking at, like what's the climate doing, how does that relate to a plant, what does that mean for how you might manage a crop. So it's not just about yields. While yields underpin so much that's important, it's about how we arrive at that yield, and that underpins profitability, sustainability, and ultimately how successful I think we'll be 10 years from now. So if there's a way in which I think we've helped the industry, it's not just delivering an outcome, but coming up with those specific research solutions. To me, I think the real value is getting growers to understand why that outcome works.
So the key areas of research that we're looking at the present time are the impact of the expansion of coal seam gas and coal mining in areas adjacent to irrigated agriculture. And we're also looking at the impact of the water sharing plans, and since they were implemented, how have the groundwater levels been affected. We are leading the way in establishing the extent of connectivity between the coal measures, where they'll be extracting the coal seam gas, and the alluvial aquifers that are used by the irrigation sector. And we've also done mobile methane surveys of the atmosphere, displayed as we're driving along the road on the screen here, methane and carbon dioxide. And we did the largest surveying of methane in agricultural areas and around coal seam gas developments in the Surat Basin of any group in Australia. And here we can see major spikes associated with abandoned exploration wells. And those pieces of information are then built into the groundwater model. The benefit of our research to cotton is that we provide robust scientific information that is looked at by policymakers around water sharing, looking at the sustainability of groundwater as a resource and assessing the impact of the expansion of coal mining and coal seam gas. We do a lot of media outreach so that we can inform the public debate, and it's the public opinion that will sway how we manage our resources for future generations.